there is something destroying your golf swing. And I wager you haven't even considered it. You've been chasing all the technical solutions for your golf swing, getting frustrated. But if you overlook this one thing, you're going to stay frustrated and stay inconsistent. I am talking about tempo, but don't think it's boring, because if your tempo is quick or if it is snatchy, your shots are going to be so much worse. The reason I know that you are overlooking tempo is because of the thousands of golfers I've helped across the world really ever pay attention to tempo. And it doesn't mean to swing slow. It doesn't mean to swing soft, but that is the starting point. Find your tempo, and I promise you, your game will skyrocket. Who do we admire? Ernie Els, Fred Couples, people like this, Vijay Singh, smooth swings that look like you can just do them for days without worry, but they still deliver power. Why? Because they're hitting the center of the club face more often. You do that, not only are you going to be more consistent, you actually have better distances on average, because your strike quality is better. Because a well-struck shot out the center of the face is going to go further than even a faster swing that comes out of the toe, the top of the club, the bottom of the club, whatever it might be. Efficiency is what is going to work for you. Well, a little bit later, I'm going to show you a really simple task that you're going to do on the range. But I'm also going to give you something that one of the best golfers of all time did, and what you can too. When I picked up the game, there was a couple of players that really stood out to me. Ernie Els and Nick Faldo, when he won the Masters in '96, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play the game. Nick Faldo has a saying that he used in a couple of major championships, and he sort of makes fun of himself, because before he even played the tournament, he was practicing a lot, hitting shots, feeding with this word in his head, Powderpuff. What does that mean? He was basically trying to make a full swing and make the right sort of contact and the right sequence, but Powderpuff. I don't really know exactly what he means by that, but he was practicing hitting shots literally as soft as he could. Because if you can't consistently hit the ball well when you're just going smooth and slow, it's much harder to try and hit it consistently well when you're swinging hard like this. All right, it doesn't mean that there's no room for that, but I want you to try this because we're working on tempo. One thing Faldo did that I want you to try as well is to take your driver and try and hit it 130 yards, 140 yards, I don't really care. Why? Because it's about gaining some control. It doesn't mean that we are trying to, fixate on certain positions. We're not trying to make a perfect golf swing. We are just swinging within ourselves to prove to yourself that the golf swing can feel effortless. And when you try and hit a driver such a short distance with, a relatively full swing, you might be astonished at how hard it is, perhaps, to begin with, but how enjoyable it is to feel a nice strike. And if you have difficulty doing this, you need to practice it even more. Now notice, I'm not sort of swinging shorter, I'm not doing a big chip shot, I'm still trying to get to a nice balanced finish. I'm swinging within myself. It is a complete golf swing, but smooth. Both of those shots right out the middle, dead straight. And from there, I've got a foundation. Here's another thing you can do when you go and practice to find your ideal tempo. Grab maybe 10 balls, okay? And think of a scale from 0 all the way to 10. 10 being maximum effort. So if I was to hit a shot at 10, it would look something like this. Okay, I mean, my foot slipped a bit, but that was like a lot of effort. 1 or 2 would look something like this. Okay, but I'm still doing a full swing. But my effort, nothing. But here's what I want you to do. You're going to start at 1 or 2 effort. Try that swing, just really sort of smooth, okay? Just nice and smooth, getting the body through, staying connected still, balanced. Obviously a bit of a weak shot, but now we're going to ramp it up just a hair. So we're going to go up to 4 or 5 effort. So it's going to be something like this. 4 or 5 effort. Okay? A little bit further, a little bit of a better strike. Now we are going to go to, let's say, 7. Not my best strike, but I'm going to try 7 again. And bear with me, I'm going to explain what we're doing here in a second. Better. First few swings of the day, but better. Now that 7 felt pretty smooth. That was more like a 6. But if I go up to like an 8, that's about my sort of normal thing. But the strike starts getting a little bit inconsistent. And your task is to find your sweet spot number. I don't care what it is. It might be relative to you 4. It might be 9. But how do you tell whether it's the right sort of tempo of swing is what effort you're putting into it. If you start getting wayward and noticeably inconsistent with that number of effort, you need to rewind, come down 1, maybe even 2, because that is going to be your sweet spot. All right, that is going to be your sweet spot when you can find consistency. It's kind of hard waffling and talking, but that was a nice shot. But that's how you're going to find your consistency. That's how you're going to find your tempo. Doesn't mean you have to be Fred Couples. Doesn't mean you have to be Nick Price. You'll get away from thinking about all the minutiae of swing positions, technical things. Focus on tempo, focus on smooth, and get confident, get good at it. Because it was good enough for Nick Faldo, it's good enough for you.